And we're back. Hello. And we're still black.
Yes.
Don't worry. That has not changed. This is the Black Streak Entertainment Podcast, where black culture and anime collide. I'm Terry L. Ramey.
I'm Justin Ramey.
And you know, in this new podcast, we're talking about things that matter to us, you know, because we really don't care what any of you think or have to say.
Yeah.
This is all about us. You know, we're narcissistic in that way.
Yeah.
So if you want to hear, you know, about your concerns, talk about your feelings, this ain't the place for you.
Yeah, just go into the bathroom and talk in the mirror. So, last week, we were talking about the Revolt World convention that we went to in September in Atlanta.
Yes.
You know, it was it like sponsored by P. Diddy or was it created by him?
It was, Revolt World was his company. It was that dude's company before, you know, he stepped down.
Yeah.
Amid all of the allegations that are totally and completely true.
Yeah. And a little background on Revolt World, they had a lot of sponsors, like big name sponsors like Walmart, Doritos.
Yeah, they bamboozled all of them into giving their money to this ghetto trash event.
Yeah. And we already talked about the lemonade thing last week, so this time we're going to talk about how much the thing cost.
Yes.
And
we'll leave that for the end.
Okay. And also talk about how they did more on the parking situation.
Yeah.
Because they did a disaster with the traffic.
Yeah. So when we left off, it was after you discovered the hose.
Yeah, they're sucking on a hose for lemonade.
Sucking on a hose for lemonade for $10. So we left the event to go to lunch because we weren't trying to eat none of that fried food there.
Yeah, there was a mall nearby.
Which, by the way, was used as the backdrop in an episode of Atlanta. It was that mall in that episode of Atlanta with the Crank It. What was it? The Soldier Boy episode? Crank It Killer.
The Crank It Killer, yeah.
When that dude was trying to kill Paperboy.
Yeah, because he did that dance.
Yeah, it was that
on
mall.
YouTube.
The mall where the shootout happened. We went to that mall.
Yeah. We got something to eat.
Then
we
came back. And top flight security, yet again, okay, so when we got there, they put a bracelet on our hands.
Yeah.
On our wrists,
like
right?
you do when you go to an event.
Yeah, and it's your proof that you're a part of the event so you can leave and come back.
Yes.
Right? That's what bracelets usually mean.
Yeah.
We get there, we come back to the event after eating, top flight security tells us, y'all can't come back in. Once you leave, you can't come back in. And everybody who was coming back like us were saying, what the heck are you talking about?
Yeah. No one said that.
No one said that.
And they're like, yeah, we did. It's like, no, you didn't.
The girl who was a part of top flight security, she said, I told all you niggas that you can't come back after you leave. And we're all like, lady, you didn't tell us nothing.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And
obviously, no one knows what you're saying.
And I was so upset because like we said last week, there's a gate before you get in that checks your ticket. And I showed them my bracelet. Before I came. I just flashed my bracelet and they're like, okay, go on in. And then you get to the security, and then Sister Sledge comes by and says, "You can't come back in. You can't come back in. There's no re-entry." And I'm like, but the guy in the front let me in. Like, who let you in? I'm like, the guy in the front. And then
same dude let all these other Negroes in,
and that made me so mad. I had to argue with them for like 30 seconds, way too long. And I was like, all right, we got in, we got back in,
we just walked in.
Yeah,
we were like, Justin had walked in already. He said, man, just come on, we just walked right in because while everybody else was yelling at them and arguing, we just slipped on in.
And we know why they did it, because people were leaving because the food was ridiculous.
Yeah, the food was terrible. It cost too much. Nobody wanted to spend $10 for no hose water powdered lemonade.
Yeah.
You know, so, yeah, they didn't want people leaving because they wanted you to eat their food and to spend those ridiculous prices on the food and their, you know, what little drinks they had.
Yeah. So then, like, the people that were there, like the people who attended, It was mostly like just like an Instagram event. Like people were just going around just taking pictures. Like, look at me, I'm having fun. It's like, where's the we need networking. There wasn't a networking.
There was no networking to be had.
There was no networking section. Like, they could have had a section of people who were looking for artists, people who were looking for fashion designers, people who were looking for editors, people looking to connect. It was just
like they advertised.
Yeah,
that's what the event was advertised as.
It was just an alley at a studio, and that was it. That's all they had. They didn't have sections for people to communicate and figure out what everybody was specializing in.
Yeah, it was trash.
So it was just one big Instagram post. That's all it was.
Yeah, and this is why I believe all the allegations against P. Diddy, because he bamboozled us.
Yeah,
out of $300.
Yes,
it was $300 a ticket for this event.
Yeah,
that was just for the regular general admission. VIP was like $500 or $600. But what the hell am I getting from VIP?
Yeah.
Do I get to skip the line to get my hose water Kool-Aid for $10?
Yeah.
For everybody else?
Maybe you get a parking space on the lot, maybe. But there was no parking. The parking was at the mall that we mentioned. Like at the last minute, they put up signs for parking at the mall, and it was very not well organized. We didn't park at the mall. We just Ubered all the way there. But
twice.
Twice. But the people didn't know where their cars were. And the people that valeted for them didn't know where the cars were, so the people just standing around forever.
I forgot about
that. You had to pay to park in the mall.
We forgot one part.
What?
When we were coming back from lunch, when we walked back.
Yeah.
And actually, when we left to go to lunch, Atlanta PD had showed up, and they were directing traffic because it was getting so backed up because it was so disorganized. Traffic in the street was getting backed up.
Yeah.
We came back from eating like an hour later. Atlanta PD said, "The hell with this." They were gone.
Yep.
Yeah, and the traffic continued to be horrible.
Yeah, and if you're paying $300 for a ticket, you'd think that they would have the brain matter to understand that there's going to be traffic here. We need to direct traffic and have everything set. Like, but they didn't. They didn't know how to. They didn't know how to direct. They didn't have direct traffic. They didn't have the proper stuff to do it. It was just a free for all.
No organization to be had at this event. No,
it was very unorganized, very unprofessional, and it really made me angry.
Yeah, $300 a ticket.
Yeah, that's insane. It's like it didn't like the ticket didn't come with food or anything. It was just like it was just $300 is a ridiculous price for any of you out there who've been to a convention. Like the typical price for like a 4-day convention probably be $100, and this was just a joke of a convention.
But they were trying to bill it as a place for again professionals.
Yeah,
professionals and creatives.
And again, like we said at the beginning, they had sponsors of Doritos, Rockstar.
Yeah, they lied to them too.
And Walmart. Why am I paying $300 for a ticket?
Exactly.
They already got a lot of money.
Yeah.
From sponsors like that.
They lied
big
to
boy
those
sponsors.
Corporations too to get their money.
So needless to say, I'll never go back to one of those events again.
You won't, because I mean, first of all, P. Diddy's going to prison.
Yeah.
Revolt's not going to be around much longer.
Yeah. But like we went one day. It was like 3 days. 3 day
event. We just went.
We went one day and never went back.
That was enough for me.
This was stupid. This was a waste of time. This was so dumb. But yeah, that's Revolt World. Don't go there.
Yeah, don't get bamboozled into going.
No,
just don't. And it's going to be even worse next year because of everything Revolt's going through right now. So man. F. P. Diddy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, we're going to take a little break and we'll be back with our anime topic.
And we're back.
Okay, we're going to talk anime today. Now, recently, this year, I believe, I watched an anime called Hell's Paradise. Hell's Paradise is about, it's like a survival kind of thing, about a bunch of people with different skills, like different ninjas and stuff like that. It takes place in that kind of time, where they have to go to an island to find the elixir of life for the emperor or the shogun or something, because all these people are criminals, and they're either going to go to death row or they can go to this island and find the elixir of life. So so the main character is a ninja who's like a really good assassin, and he has some kind of problem with his wife and whatever. So he's trying, and he got captured, and he has a death sentence, and all the things that would kill a normal person with executions won't kill him because of his training and all that. So he has to get the elixir of life in order to get his freedom back.
Oh, okay.
So he can see his wife again. And there's also another character, which is an executioner lady, and she's like a really good executioner, but she doubts herself, and like the world is developed in a way of executioners are extremely good, extremely trained swordsmen, and they got the assassin criminals on the other side of it, and they go through like execution, like beheadings and all that stuff, and she's partnered with the main guy ninja, because the main ninja guy, because each criminal has to have an executioner like chaperone with them in the island, so they won't escape or anything. Oh, so then chaos ensues when they get to the island, because the island's weird. It has like a bunch of like godlike monsters that they have to fight. It's just a nightmare to be there because everything could kill you. And then like later on in the story, you figure out that there's just these super god people that they have to defeat. They have to figure out how to defeat them. A lot of people die in this show, and it's a really good action show. I like it. It also has a manga out in America, so check that out if you like action survival manga. Action survival shows. This one will be up your alley. It's really good. I have to say the first episode is the worst episode. It goes through a lot of cliches, and then you're like, eh. And then you watch the second episode, you go, oh, okay. When the story starts coming along. So Hell's Paradise, I recommend it for people who like action.
All right. So last week we talked about how anime was in the Stone Age when we were kids back in the 90s. How getting it was like, a quest, a task. It almost felt like you were going on some holy expedition to find that one VHS you needed to complete the series.
Yeah, to complete the series.
Because you already watched episodes 1 through 5, and then you skipped 6, 7, and 8, and ended up watching, 9 through 12, and you need to find 6, 7, and 8.
Yeah.
But something came along that changed that forever. Something called streaming. Streaming in anime.
Streaming changed the game big time. Because first it was the DVD. The DVD changed the game. And then second, streaming came along.
Well, actually, before streaming, downloads.
Yeah, downloads.
Like Kaiza and...
Yeah. If anybody could remember Kazaa and LimeWire, that was...
Yeah, LimeWire.
That was a chore in itself also, because, internet wasn't that fast back then. Even in the quality of videos you got weren't great. And you had to get what you can get because, it was shareware.
Yeah.
And sometimes something will be titled something, and it's not even what you're looking for.
Oh, yeah.
It's the wrong episode, or it's just a complete different video.
Completely different.
So that was a hassle. And there, computers had so much space. Like thumb drives weren't a thing. Like floppy disks were still there, and
external hard drives didn't exist.
And driving and using CDRs were the thing. But that's what it was. And then I don't know what happened after that, but I know that streaming became big in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And especially with there's companies like High Dive, Funimation, and Crunchyroll that are streaming services for anime, and Crunchyroll and Funimation merged together.
Yeah.
So now Crunchyroll has almost everything. It has so much in it, and High Dive has the rest, and so does Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime has the rest, but just like a big bang of anime has been exposed to the world because of this. Because in Japan, anime is regular TV shows here.
Yeah.
Like,
That's all they got.
Yeah, like ABC and CBS when they come out with shows, like all their CSIs or whatever. Those are all human being shows, like people live action people doing it. Just flip that and just make it anime, and that's what it is in Japan. Like there's just so much
of it,
and like even now, like a lot of it don't even come to streaming services because there's so much. But it's just a big explosion. There's a whole bunch of stuff to watch, and sometimes it's overwhelming because it's like, should I watch this? No, I gotta continue to watch this. And like, but a lot of the shows are like 12 episodes long because because there's just so many of them. Like studios can only do so much, and streaming has changed the game, especially for the price point. It is very inexpensive to just stream the stuff.
I remember the first time I heard of Crunchyroll. We were at a convention in San Francisco back in 2012, and some kid mentioned Crunchyroll, and I asked you, I said, "What is that?" And you said, "Oh, you can stream anime the next day after it comes out." I was like, "Whoa, hold on, wait a second." My mind was blown. I'm coming from the era where you had to buy the doggone VHS tape. Look for it, first of all, go to the store, buy it, and spend like $40 for 3 episodes. Now I can actually just have a streaming service.
Yeah, it's wild.
Show me. It took a while for me to wrap my brain around that. Like, how is this even possible?
Yeah.
And it only cost me like $20 a month or whatever.
Yeah, and now it's even cheaper than that. I don't know how much I paid for Crunchyroll, but it's less than $20. And like people who are born like post the internet boom, they don't understand
how privileged you are.
Yeah, how crazy that is that you can stream something that was aired just the day before in Japan and is fully translated.
That's insane.
And is out for you to watch.
It took how long for Dragon Ball, the whole series of Dragon Ball Z, to come here?
Yeah,
it took like almost 2 decades for us to get Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, and you're like, this stuff was made in the 80s?
Yeah, this was made in the 80s? Like, most kids don't even know Dragon Ball Z was made in the 80s. They don't know it was that old. They think it's new.
Yeah.
No, that was made in the 80s. It's just, it only got here fully in the last probably decade and a half.
Yeah. And it's just crazy because Japanese isn't the easiest thing to translate, and they're just going so fast with it. And like I said before, there's so many anime out there. It's just like they're just pulling them out and putting them on stream. And I'm glad that they're doing it because it's giving me the chance to watch a bunch of stuff and not have to spend a lot of money doing it.
Yeah.
And if there's like an anime that I really like, then I buy the Blu-ray. And speaking of Blu-rays, I think in Japan, Blu-ray still costs an astronomical amount of money.
Oh yeah, I remember when we went. I really didn't see Blu-rays anywhere when the first time we went to Japan in 2011. It was right after the earthquake and the tsunami when we went. But the DVDs that I saw, they were ridiculously priced.
Yeah, it's like they're like $80. And it's not
for one disc.
It's not the whole season like we get here. Like we get you just get whole seasons just on 2 disc or whatever, and you have to buy the whole season at once. It was just like you have to buy episodes in Japan, like 2 episodes or so, or half the season, and they're like $80. I'm like, oh boy. And I think games are expensive over there too.
Yeah, games are way more expensive too.
And I think it's just because, first of all, it's Tokyo. I don't know if it changes throughout the country, but there's not a lot of space there, so I think it just discourages them from buying a whole bunch of stuff and not having where to put it.
I can see that.
Because like if you go to Japan, there's a bunch of stuff like used, like games and DVDs and books, comics and stuff like that. Game systems, they look pristine because people don't have space for them, so they just sell them off. So
living in their boxes.
Yeah, there's no space there.
No space. Oh man, Japan is so, especially Tokyo. It's so crowded. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I don't know how people do it. But you gotta think they live on an island that's only 20% inhabitable. So that leaves very little space.
Yeah, there's so many people there.
And what does Tokyo have like a population of? New York is 8 million. I think Tokyo is high. I think it's like 12 million.
Yeah.
Tokyo. And Tokyo does not have the land area of New York City.
Yeah.
So, man, it's crazy how people can live on top of each other like that.
Yeah, so I don't know how streaming is in Japan, but here I'm glad it's here because otherwise I'd be lost in the sauce with anime because I wouldn't know what to watch. Cause I can pick an anime and I'm like, okay, this is garbage. I can just move on to something else. Or I can come back to it whenever I want instead of relying on, like we said, renting and have to watch the stuff when you get it, or paying money to watch something and then like, this is dumb.
Yeah. Remember pirated anime?
Mm-hmm.
Like after when DVDs started coming around, you had pirated anime.
Oh yeah.
They like people would tape the episodes off of TV in Japan, burn them to the DVD,
Yeah,
and subtitle it.
Yeah.
Like we had a friend who got Inuyasha like this was like 2 or 3 years before it started airing on Adult Swim. He had like the first 3 seasons of it on these pirated DVDs, and we used to watch those.
Yeah,
you get them off eBay. How they were able to sell them on eBay without getting flagged, I don't know.
it was just,
but there was all kinds of pirated anime like that on eBay.
Yeah,
selling whole series for like $20.
So
yeah.
So streaming changed the game for anime, and now it's like, you know, bigger and better than ever. Like it's more accessible to a lot of people.
Yep.
And a lot of people know what anime is. You don't have to rely on places like Cartoon Network or whatever to put, you know, the popular stuff out there.
Yeah, to distribute it. All right, so if you want access to our anime content, to gain access to exclusive Black Streak anime, manga, games, and more, make sure y'all visit blackstreakentertainment.com/join and get that access. We got some dope stuff. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. And we're back.
We're back.
So, you know, we started Black Streak Entertainment actually 11 years ago this year. 12 years ago, back in 2011. And, you know, we grew up watching anime before it was stylish. You know, back when people would look at us and be like, why? Our friends would look at us and be like, why in the world do y'all watch this Japanese weird stuff? And then, you know, we'd show them Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon and they would love it. So, you know, there comes a time where you realize being black, there aren't very many characters who look like you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
As a kid, I didn't think about it.
You didn't think about it, but then it comes a point where you're like, man, this would be dope if, you know, these characters looked like us and had our experiences. That'd be really cool. So rather than complaining about it, we decided to create it ourselves.
Yeah. Because you can't depend on other people to do it, because first of all, they're Japanese, so they're gonna make, you know, characters that look like them. That's just natural. If I'm a black person, so I'm gonna make characters that are black. That just makes sense.
Yeah.
So I can't blame them, unless I do blame them on some things, because, you know, like Studio Ghibli, for example, they do a lot of Eurocentric stories, and it's just white people.
Yeah. That's kind of a discussion for another day, because, I mean, truthfully, a lot of anime does not look, they don't look Japanese.
You know.
They look very European.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, like the people who are making the stuff it's just going to reflect the people who make it. So, yeah. So,
and even if they do have black characters, they're not going to be culturally black, because that's another discussion in itself. So, I should say, if they make African American characters, they're not going to be culturally African American, because again, these are Japanese people writing the characters.
Yeah,
so they don't.
Yeah,
they don't know our culture. They don't know us.
They just go by what they see.
Yeah, they look black, but they ain't gonna.
Yeah.
You know.
So in order to solve that problem, you can't just hound someone to be more diverse. You can't just yell at them. You just gotta do it yourself. You gotta do it yourself.
Yeah.
Do it yourself. That's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing with Black Streak Entertainment. You know. So make sure y'all go check out our website. Blackstreakanime.com is the merch site, and blackstreakentertainment.com is the site where you get to engage with us and other fans of our work. And it's a community. It's a lot of fun. It's a good time.
Yeah.
We have events that are planned, live events that are planned for our fan base. So make sure you sign up at blackstreakentertainment.com/join to gain exclusive access to our events, to our content, and to our games, and everything else we got going on. So
if you want to see more, if you love anime and you want to see more actual black characters as main characters, not just side characters, but main characters in a story, then you need to support us.
Yeah, a story that's relatable to us and the multiple facets and sides that, black folks have. The African American experience is very unique in that we are, someone broke it down to me in this way that I found really, really fascinating. We are like the newest race, if you want to use that word, because race doesn't exist. It's a social construct that was created by white supremacy. But we are the newest ethnic group in the entire world. We were kidnapped from Africa, brought here, stripped of all of our cultural history, our language, our names, our family lineage, and we had to create a whole new culture for ourselves. Our ancestors had to do that. So our experience is very unique from anybody else in the world. So to be able to apply that to that experience to a genre that we love so very much, it's really cool to show the different angles of that experience and to show that we're not all the same. We're not a monolith. Black folks are different. We have our own personalities. We have one experience that unites us, that is racism, colonization, and the effects of slavery. But within that, there are so many different faces to us, and so many different personalities to us, and so many. We're our own rainbow within our culture. So that's what we show and reflect in Black Streak Entertainment.
Yep. And what I really like about Black Streak Entertainment is that, first of all, I could do whatever I want.
That's always nice.
It's great. do whatever
you should try
I want.
It sometime.
Yeah. So I make the stories I want to make, and hopefully it just entertains people. And I really like we said in the last episode with Alien Up, I'd really like to make a game where it's just mostly people of color, mostly black people in space, because that's never been done before, and make a game that's really fun, that doesn't have to do with being a criminal. You don't have to shoot a basketball. It doesn't have to be a sports game. It's just something that I want to see represented in the gaming industry that's just not there, and make it fun too.
Yeah, and part of that, seeing what's represented and seeing something represented in the game industry that's not there, is just being able to be yourself.
Yeah.
Black people, we're not allowed to just be ourselves within, especially the gaming industry. We're not forget, Hollywood. In the gaming industry, we're not allowed to be ourselves. We're always, held to, basketball or hip hop.
Yeah, it's a stereotype.
And I'm not. That's not dog. I love basketball. It's my favorite sport. I played basketball as a kid. I love hip hop. I love rap. But
that shouldn't be it.
Yeah, that shouldn't be it. I like other things too. Other things I love. So
yeah, I'm not dogging on any of that stuff. It's just that shouldn't be it.
We shouldn't be beholden to just that, because there's so much more to the beauty and the diversity of black people, African Americans in particular, than just rap and basketball and sports.
Yeah, in sports. Or being a criminal.
Yeah, or being a criminal.
Or
extreme.
Or being poor.
It's being poor, poor, uneducated. You know, we ain't doing nothing that has to do with, oh, my baby got shot.
Yeah.
Actually, no, we do a little bit of that, but
that's not all we do.
That's not the focus.
Yeah, that's not all we do. and that's the thing. It's just not all that we do, and we're making what we want, and we're not trying to stick to a stereotype. Not like purposely not trying to stick to stereotype. We're just being ourselves.
Yeah, no one trick ponies here. Just being ourselves, and we want to encourage other young black kids to be themselves too. Because
exactly,
I mean, it's cool seeing young black kids actually being themselves nowadays. When I say kids, I'm 38, so I'm also talking about, you know, folks in their like early 20s and stuff. It's cool seeing them being themselves and not being beholden to just, you know, the sports hip hop thing. Because that's what it was like when we were kids. Like I said at the opening of this segment, people looked at us like we were weird watching anime when we were growing up.
Yeah.
They thought it was freaking weird that we were two black kids watching anime until we exposed them to it and they liked it. So when I got on Instagram and I started seeing all the different black anime pages that were popping up and black people doing cosplay, I'm like, whoa, when did this happen? Like, I thought this was like I thought we were the anomaly. I didn't know black folks were actually into anime. You know, so it's really just the younger crowd and people our age too that we're seeing, you know, are into it now, like deep into it. And I wish it was like this when I was younger.
Yeah. and back when we started this thing, it was very rare.
Extremely rare.
It's growing now with having black representation in anime, or at least just like, you know, the skin, a different skin color than just white in anime. A lot of new animes coming out has either a black side character or a black lead side character is coming out. So it's growing, but we're trying to make it like, you know, mostly black. So follow all of our stuff and get encouraged, and, you know, give us some ideas too.
Yeah. Go to blackstreakentertainment.com/join.
All right, so we're going to take a little break, and we'll be back with more Black Streak Entertainment Podcast.
And we're back.
We are back, y'all,
at the Black Streak Entertainment Podcast. So
what's the topic for this week?
We're going to talk about the MCU. And this is a difficult one for me to approach.
The Marvel Cinematic Universe, if you guys don't know what that is.
Yeah, if you have been under a rock for the past 15 years.
Or you just don't pay attention to anything.
So back in the day, way back when Iron Man came out, before anybody knew what was cooking up, and you saw that last scene, the after credit scene, where Sam Jackson showed up and said, you know, we're starting the Avengers Initiative. That was mind blowing. People were like, whoa, this is going to be a whole universe? Y'all are going to do like Avengers movies that hook together? This is insane. Like, I never imagined anything like that would happen.
Yeah.
And then
it also helps that, you know, Iron Man was good.
Yeah, Iron Man was a great movie. Like, I didn't expect it to be as good as it was. I thought it was just going to be like just another Marvel movie.
Yeah.
And
it was cool. Because before that, especially in the 80s, 90s, even in 60s and 50s, there was Marvel movies and they were bad.
Yeah, The Punisher,
Captain America,
The Fantastic Four. Not the 05 one, the one before that, the 90s one.
Yeah, the one that didn't release.
Yeah, the one that didn't release.
Yeah, they're doing bad. So then they came up with this banger of Iron Man, and then they're like, "Oh, we're gonna make sequels and we're gonna connect them together." That's pretty cool.
Different movies and stuff.
I don't know if they were the ones who, like, you know, did the Stinger, like started the Stinger movement in movies, but that was a really good one.
Yeah. So, and then as it progressed, once it got to Captain America, and they introduced the Tesseract, you started seeing, oh wait, they're moving into the Infinity Stone saga from the 90s.
Yeah. And that is a very, very, very popular, like, story arc.
Yeah, and that's the story arc.
Yeah.
That was very ambitious, and you were like,
Very
well, how are they going to
ambitious.
pull this off? Like, nothing like that had ever been seen before.
Yeah.
And then the Avengers came out, and you saw Thanos at the end. You're like, yes, I
Yeah.
knew they were doing the Infinity Saga.
Yeah,
I knew it.
There's excitement for it for a reason. It was a really good storyline, and they had the connection of the stones to bring it all together. And they had that stinger of Thanos in one movie. I don't know which one it was. Was it just the Avengers movie?
Yeah, the first Avengers movie.
Yeah, and then he didn't show up for a while, but you still had those gems to keep
to
bringing.
remind you,
Yeah.
keep bringing you back. Okay, this is the path they're on. We're doing the Infinity Gauntlet saga.
And they're using the most popular Marvel characters besides the X-Men and Spider-Man. They were using the heavy hitters.
Yeah. And then it all led up to Infinity War, which is my second favorite Marvel movie, personally.
And with Infinity War, I'm not even gonna say spoilers here because if you didn't see it, then you're an idiot. But like the ending to that was a big, huge cliffhanger with them actually, losing.
Yeah, that was incredible.
It's like
Didn't expect that.
Didn't expect that, and it's like it was such a bold. I guess it would be a gamble, but it was such a bold move to be like, okay, we're gonna end it on a bummer.
Yeah. And then came I always forget the last one, the last Avengers movie. Endgame. Then came Endgame, where it all came. It was the stunning climatic conclusion.
Yeah, it was a conclusion. It was done. It was like, okay, we're done.
Moving on to the next phase.
And then people clap, clap, clap. What is the next phase going to be? How are they going to beat that?
And
then
4 years later, I still don't know.
No, it's like the next phase is when they started to be like, okay, we're going to do TV shows. We're going to we're doing that, and then that phase was just such a disappointment because no one was on the same page. You don't know what you don't know what the goal was. The goal of the first phase was the gems and the Infinity Gauntlet and the Thanos. This phase, I don't know. It started with WandaVision, I think. And
actually, no, it started with Spider-Man, the second one.
Oh, okay.
To France.
Okay, so
that was the start of Phase 4.
Even I'm confused. It's like they weren't well connected. It's like no one was on the same page. No one connected any threads. They just did whatever they wanted, and then the people had to make their own theories up, and then they were all wrong. It didn't work out very well, and they just kept going with it.
Yeah. And it's starting to come together with Kang, but I think it's too little too late. Actually, you could argue that it started with, remember the end of Shang-Chi when they said his rings were communicating with something else?
Yeah.
I still don't know what that is.
Yeah,
I thought it was going to be Galactus, but that kind of fell off.
Yeah, they don't connect them. They don't connect them well. The first phase connected everything really well. The second phase didn't connect anything well at all.
No, you mean phase 1 through 3 was the Infinity Stones.
Oh, right.
And phase 4, I don't even know where they're at now.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's 5 or 6.
I don't know what phase they're on because they build things up and they just drop them, and then they just bring something in and they just drop it, and then no one's on the same page. They don't have a solid enemy to face.
Yeah, to build the world around. There's no world naval.
Yeah.
Like, the world naval of 1 through 3 was the Infinity Gauntlet. There's none here.
Yeah.
I don't what story are you telling?
Because it confuses you when you think that, okay, so Kang is supposed to be the big Thanos of this season. But in the Ant-Man movie, or this phase, in the Ant-Man movie, he gets killed by ants. It's like, okay, so
one variant of him.
Yeah, and that doesn't bring any excitement because you're not seeing the power of the other variant. Yeah. You see a bunch of Kang screaming in a stadium, and it's like, what does that mean? That's nothing. I don't know who I'm supposed to focus on.
Yeah.
And that just ruins everything if you can just replace them with a variant. And then it's like, okay, so who's the bad guy? I know it's Kang, but which one? And I don't. it was a bad choice. They should have did something better. And the other problem is they made the I don't like it when they make actors the heroes. Me saying this means like, you know, how Wolverine is supposed to be Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
Because
I mean when they design a character around
the actor.
Yeah.
Yes. Like Hemsworth is supposed to be Thor. Because they're human, so they get old. And they're human, they get tired.
Yeah.
So it's like when they do that, they can't continue the story of the fictional character because you're too attached to the actor being that character. And so with that, they replace them with someone that you don't care about, like a hero, another hero that you don't care about. They're trying to make Captain Marvel a hero, and no one cares about her. They're trying to make Ms. Marvel a hero, no one cares about her. They're trying to make whoever the other third Marvel is in the Marvels movie.
I forget what her name was. The FBI
Rambo.
agent.
I think it's Rambo.
Yeah, Rambo.
They're trying to make her. They're trying to bring in these new heroes, but no one knows who they are because they already shot their shot with the big heroes. So it's like it's gonna be hard to build them back up, because no one really knows who they are.
Well, everybody knows who Blade is, but you know that's not going too well.
Yeah, the problem is they're focusing on the wrong heroes. They still have Marvel still has an arsenal of heroes that people know. Daredevil, for example, there's that, and like you said, Blade. They could bring these heroes into the light, but they're just dragging their feet on it. They're not doing good writing. They're not doing good stories with them. So that's one major problem the MCU has right now. Heroes are unrecognizable because they built up the actor being the hero too long, and they can't just replace him with another actor.
Yeah, it's gonna be. They'll never replace Hugh Jackman with Wolverine. No, they'll never do that. I mean, I have no interest in seeing any, but that's not really the studio's fault. It's just, you know, Hugh Jackman was so freaking good in the first X-Men. They recreated the whole character around him because he's just that good. He's a phenomenal actor. He's Hugh Jackman, you know. But I can see what you mean.
Yeah, because
that does them a disservice. Bro.
Yeah, they have to develop. They had to have developed at the beginning that these human beings are going to be replaced because they're playing fictional characters. They can't do it forever. Yeah. And what I don't know what their problem is, but Disney acquired 20th Century Fox, which had X-Men, and then they just put them under a rug. I don't know what they're doing with them.
I don't know what they're doing.
What can like I said before, there are recognizable characters that they can still use that are big characters. Fantastic Four and X-Men. Bring them in, start a whole new phase with them. That's a really good start. But they're bringing in these C-list C-list heroes, and they want people to be like, oh, it's Marvel. We'll enjoy it, but no one cares about these heroes. They care about the X-Men. They care about the Fantastic Four. Bring them in and do some good writing. Yeah, that'll save it. I just gave them $5 million worth of consulting. Yeah. It's like just do something with X-Men and Fantastic Four.
I mean, they got all this alternate universe stuff going on, so it'd be easy for them to replace an actor. They could just say, you know, this is a new variant of Wolverine or something, even though he hasn't been introduced in the MCU yet. He's in Deadpool, so maybe they're gonna do something.
Maybe, but who knows? They always disappoint whenever like you get excited about something. And they're like, like with the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. There's barely any multiverse in it, and when they show like, you know, Fantastic Four and X-Men, like, you know, everybody's like, oh, Professor X and Mr. Fantastic's going to be in it, and then they just kill him. It's like, that was stupid.
That was lame.
It's like, okay, they always disappoint. It's like, what, you had something there. You could have started X-Men and the Fantastic Four with the Multiverse of Madness, but you did nothing with it, and it just comes down to the writing. and people just got fatigued from it because they kept getting disappointed after disappointment because they're expecting something. Then they just pull a rug from them, and then you get something lame.
Yeah.
And that comes in with what we were talking about last week with they're pulling themselves. Disney is pulling themselves too thin. They need to focus on one thing so they can have a bunch of creatives on there and actually make something good.
Yeah. The only movie I actually like that they've done. No, not the only one. I'd say the only ones I've liked since Endgame are both Spider-Man movies and Black Panther.
Yeah,
that's it. Like,
yeah, but Black Panther and both that's the same thing. Same here.
Those are the only ones I really, really like. Like there have been the rest of them have been okay. There have been some bad ones. Actually, no. Let me take that back. Shang-Chi was really cool. I like Shang-Chi.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
Those four were dope. Like Shang-Chi was the closest thing to Dragon Ball Z I think we'll get. But yeah, everything else has ranged from okay to just awful. Like for the first time, I couldn't finish a Marvel movie, and that was Guardians 3. I couldn't do it. I couldn't finish it. It was terrible. I don't care what anybody says. That movie was so bad. It just had run-on jokes that wouldn't stop. That went on too long, and the movie was 2.5 hours. I'm like, I'm not doing this for. It felt like I was sitting there for 3 hours watching it for an hour. I said, I'm not doing this for another hour and a half.
You know, a lot of people love Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know why. Maybe they're just James Gunn's sycophants, but I hate that whole franchise. Oh. I watched the first one, and I was like, okay, that was dumb. It was stupidly written for for stupid people. I'll just say it for stupid people. Like the jokes, there was no history of the characters. They just joined together and made lame jokes. And then the second one, I got halfway in, and I just didn't watch the rest of it. So needless to say, I never watched the third one. Not a fan of the Guardians of the Galaxy. I didn't watch all of Captain Marvel. Wasn't interested. And the only reason why that movie made $1 billion and they're hyping it up, trying to make her a good hero, is because it was after that Infinity War,
yeah,
which was a big bummer. You want to see what was going to happen, and if it wasn't after Infinity War, no one would have watched that. Cared, but I didn't watch that. I didn't watch half of that, and I didn't watch Black Widow because she was already dead. And
I forgot about Black Widow. Yeah, I forgot about that one.
I didn't watch Black Widow because what's the point? She's dead. I don't care.
That ties into the Captain America movies.
Oh, okay.
That's coming out. So the new Captain America movie should be dope.
Yeah.
They changed the title though.
Yeah.
It used to be New World Order, now it's something else.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that's about.
Let's see what happens with that. Oh yeah, and speaking of Blade, they're making a Blade game, but it's made by Bethesda, so I don't know how that's gonna turn out. Bethesda's like familiar. Is like the Fallout. People make Fallout and stuff like that.
Okay.
Skyrim, but
is it going to be an RPG?
They make finicky games. I don't know. It was just a teaser trailer.
Oh, Blade game. That's cool.
So yeah, like we said, the MCU has a problem. They need to fix it and fix it quick.
Yeah. Like I don't know what's going on over there, but yeah, they've had some great movies, but very few and far in between.
Yeah.
With everything they've been releasing, it's disappointing.
Yeah, but and also for TV shows go, I really liked Loki.
Yeah, Loki was cool.
Both seasons I really liked. So
yeah.
So with that concludes another exciting episode of Black Streak Podcast.
Yes. So visit blackstreakentertainment.com/join to gain exclusive access to Blackstreak anime, manga, games, and more.
And if you have any ideas, be free to email us.
Oh yeah, you can email us at blackstreakpod@gmail.com.
And remember, 僕のために触らないでください。
What he said.